Good evening, this is Viewpoint. I'm Zakka Jacob. From Saturday, the 1st of May, there will be universal vaccination of all above the age of 18. That's the intent, but on the ground, a couple of hurdles stick out. Number one, most states have come out and said that they simply don't have enough stock of vaccines and therefore they cannot start vaccinating from the 1st of May. Also, no purchase orders have been struck with either Serum Institute or Bharat Biotech, which are the two companies that manufacture, because of pricing confusion. So much so, now Serum has come out within the last few minutes to suggest that they will drop the rates for state government from 400 to 300. And in any case, the biggest problem right now is that the CoWIN platform, which has been opened at 4 o'clock, seems to have crashed for most adults who are trying right now between the age of 18 and 45. At this rate, the question is, will universal adult vaccination remain just a pipe dream for many months to come?
एक मई के बाद से 18 वर्ष के ऊपर के किसी भी व्यक्ति को वैक्सीनेट किया जा सकेगा.
Here it says registration for age 18 to 44. I'm just going to try and register. They've asked me to put down my number. I'm going to do that.
We cannot start it or roll it out on 1st of May because the non-availability of vaccine.
सीरम इंस्टीट्यूट से हमारे अधिकारियों ने बात की. उन लोगों ने कहा कि साहब 15 मई तक तो हम जो हमारे पास भारत सरकार से पहले से ऑर्डर मिले हुए हैं उनकी आपूर्ति नहीं कर पाएंगे, तो आपको कहां से देंगे.
मुंबई के सबसे बड़े बीकेसी जम्मू कोविड सेंटर में वैक्सीनेशन का प्रोसेस चल रहा है, लेकिन आज सुबह से ही इस जगह पर वैक्सीनेशन खत्म हो चुकी है.
All right, so let's bring you up to speed with the states that have said that they are out of vaccine and cannot start universal adult vaccination starting the 1st of May. Let's start with Maharashtra, the biggest of these states. They have said that Serum Institute has told them that they will not be able to give them jabs before the 20th of May. Maharashtra has taken the call to have free vaccination for all above the age of 18. Punjab has said again, no Covishield jabs are available till the 15th of May, so that 15-day break between the 1st and the 15th. Kerala has said that vaccination for 18 to 45 only when most stocks are available. Kerala has also decided to make the vaccine free, both the doses in the age group 18 to 45. Chhattisgarh has said can't start the drive for 18 plus in the absence of vaccines. And also Rajasthan, you heard the health minister of Rajasthan a moment ago saying that Serum Institute has told them that they don't have enough doses available till the 15th of May. Jharkhand has said that it's incumbent upon the central government to provide them enough stock to enable a rollout. So basically, net-net, at least in these 7 states, and then some more, we will not have universal adult vaccination rolling out starting the 1st of May. Now, is that a problem that the state governments brought upon themselves, or is this simply because of lack of good planning? The moot question is this, and I think everybody agrees on this, that the only way to beat corona, the only way to beat back the second wave is to expand the vaccination program. Unfortunately, that is not going to happen starting the 1st of May. Tom Vadakan, spokesperson of the BJP, joining us. Adil Singh Boparai, spokesperson of the Congress. Dr. Ishwar Gilada is infectious diseases expert and Secretary General of the Organized Medicine Academic Guild. And Yashwardhan Asad is a former IPS officer. Thank you very much, gentlemen, for speaking with us. Tom, I'll start with you. When the announcement was made for universal adult vaccination starting May 1, it was assumed that the states would take the burden of the vaccination. The states would purchase from the private companies. The states would then go on to vaccinate their priority groups as they deem fit. Now, at least half a dozen states have come out and said, and this includes both BJP and Congress ruled states, or BJP and opposition ruled states, saying that they simply don't have enough stock. So what's going on?
Zakka, this is not about the BJP and any other party. The central government in its wisdom knew that if the floodgates were opened, and which was done, this would occur. Now, otherwise it would be said, look, we are holding the monopoly of vaccine, you're dealing with the manufacturer, why is it not reaching us? And the point here is, okay, You try and talk to them directly. You negotiate the price. We have been very liberal with them. Now the point is, 50% we have asked for reserving, and that's not for our own purposes. That is for giving it to states for those in the vulnerable section. That is some compromise. I mean, this country cannot compromise on. We've done that. Now, as to the question of, the Maharashtra government said they need about 5 crore vaccine. Then they said, well, it is 5 crore won't suffice. So let's go to 12 crores. And then they were talking to Sputnik on tying up a deal with them. Everything can be discussed, and instead of making playing up to the gallery.
So why make this hasty decision of opening it up to all from 1st of May? If you knew that this is what is going to happen, why make that hasty decision? Were you under pressure?
Zakka, it's not about pressure. This is a federal structure. We have to listen to the states. We did listen to them. Well, maybe we also thought that they would be able to deliver the goods. But alas, what has happened is that they are just buying time. You had a Delhi chief minister who now says that we should go below 18. Thank God he said that the unborn child also must be vaccinated. This is the kind of conditions that existed. The High Court intervened because this was sheer madness.
Okay. We have seen the appalling situation in the national capital over the last week, 10 days. But Adil Singh Boparai, when the vaccination was restricted to certain age groups, everybody in the opposition, including your leader Rahul Gandhi, came out and said, free vaccine, open it up to all. That's the only way to tackle this disease. Now the government has done that. On Saturday, we're supposed to have universal adult vaccination. None of the opposition ruled states are in a position to do universal adult vaccination, something that you knew 20 days ago.
Well, Zakka, first and foremost, this is an unprecedented crisis and governance has collapsed. Now, the only way to defeat this virus is to inoculate maximum number of people in the shortest duration of time. This is what experts say, scientific thinkers say. Now, there are two issues with the government of India's vaccination policy. The first issue is about scarcity and acute shortage of vaccines. Now, it's not just opposition ruled states. A bitter critic of the Congress party, Himanta Biswa Sarma, who's the BJP health minister from Assam, is on record to the Indian Express that there is a shortage of vaccine and we can't vaccinate people between 18 to 45. Certainly, Tom knows that he's not with the Congress. Now, the problem today is that representatives from various state governments have spoken to Serum Institute and they've been very categorical in telling us that we cannot supply you vaccines.
No, but you knew this 20 days ago, Adil. You knew this 20 days ago. You are the guys who wanted universal vaccination. Mr. Rahul Gandhi has put out tweet after tweet saying this is the only way to beat back the virus. Now go ahead and vaccinate starting May 1. You're not able to.
Zakka, and this is what doctors say. And you would concur with me on this. No. It's not just about what Rahul Gandhi ji says. The only way to defeat this virus is to inoculate maximum number of people.
I'm not disagreeing with you on that. I'm not disagreeing with you on that. No, I'm not disagreeing. I'm not disagreeing with you on that. So go ahead and start vaccinating from the 1st of May. What's stopping you?
Whose responsibility was it to ensure adequate stocks? The government of India was exporting vaccines. Shouldn't the government of India have placed adequate orders? Did they not know that we're a country of 1.3 billion people? Should they not have been mindful that there will be an acute shortage? Shouldn't they have made orders beforehand, anticipating the second wave when the government of India was celebrating, Narendra Modi was celebrating, we've defeated the virus? Point number one.
All of those points are valid. All of those points are valid, and I accept those points. But here is the thing. Here is the thing. You knew 6 weeks back when you asked for universal vaccination that both Serum and Bharat Biotech simply don't have the capacity right now to give you tens of millions of vaccines. Let me ask Dr. Ishwar Gilada. He's on the panel. Dr. Ishwar Gilada. There's a very simple logic to this. There are two vaccine companies. They have limited capacity. People knew this. Even state governments, opposition ruled state governments knew this 3, 4, 5 weeks back when they started making this clamor for opening up vaccine for all, that there would be a shortage. They don't have the capacity to manufacture tens of millions that you need every month. Now, closer to May 1, the reality is hitting everybody in the face that neither of these two companies have the vaccine to start universal vaccination from May 1. The best we can expect is May 15th.
Zakka, this is a public health pandemic or public health epidemic. Let us not make it a political epidemic. If they want to fight, you can book a akhada for their kushti and BJP and Congress can fight there. What as a doctor, as a public health expert, we feel that this is a national program. When there's a national program, there should be one national policy and everybody to be vaccinated. And we can have gradation, which we have done already, and it was going on very well. Now, currently, we realize that the second wave of the epidemic is hitting young people. Initially, a lot of people, including political parties, blame young people. That these are the young people who are responsible, not masking. They are infecting their families, they are infecting their parents, they are infecting society. I have fought the battle for HIV/AIDS. We also blamed young people that time, but finally we succeeded only because we made youth-centric policy. Number one. Number two, if young people are to be blamed, then you have to put onus on them. Put onus on them that it is your generation, your next generation, your parents' generation you have to save. And thirdly, the current vaccine virus is infecting everyone, and young people are being affected very badly. Also, they are also in 35, 30-year-old people are on ventilator.
Yes.
So we need to save young people. Why we need to save young people? Because they are the conduit between society and family. And if they are breadwinners, if you ask them to sit home, it is not possible. So we needed vaccination. Now, if there is a problem that we have seen in last 3 months, 95% of the vaccine is from Covishield, 5% from Covaxin.
Yeah.
Now, if they are equal players, they should have brought their vaccine. If Covaxin is not bringing the vaccine, where is the vaccine? So we need to look at whether giving licenses to few more companies, one more company is given. I don't know why they are not imported.
Yeah, that's a fair point. That's a fair
and
point.
if we have other 2-3 companies, then they are more level playing.
No, that's a fair
Currently,
point.
there is no level playing.
My only limited point, and I'll ask Yashwardhan Azad also this, I think the doctor is absolutely right. There was no reason why the intellectual property rights for Bharat Biotech for Covaxin could not be made available to other Indian companies who could simultaneously manufacture. Thereby, by the 1st of May, you'll have enough of a stockpile to start distributing amongst all adults above the age of 18. The question, though, is this. This is something that we knew. We knew this 3 weeks back. We knew this 4 weeks back when there was a clamor for universal adult vaccination. Now, when we are 3 days away from the deadline for states to come out and say, and amazingly, this is what I find amazing. All of these states, Maharashtra, Kerala, all of these states are coming out and saying, we will have universal vaccination. It will not start on the 1st of May, but we will make sure it's free for everybody. I mean, this is bizarre. You, on the one hand, want to make it free, which means state exchequer pays for it, which means what the taxpayer pays for it. At the same time, you're delaying it by 15 days or 20 days because you didn't have the foresight to anticipate the shortfall. Yashwardhan Azad.
Yeah. First of all, Zakka, there's no harm and there's nothing wrong in states demanding that there should be vaccination for people above 18. There's no doubt about that. I agree with your point that right now they had expected this, they should have anticipated it. But my point is that the central government overestimated its capacity, and as far as planning goes, we have gone horribly wrong. First of all, if the center would have delegated the powers to the states, that this is a national pandemic, forget about federalism and centralism. Each state is allowed to purchase whatever they can get from anywhere. Today, Delhi, for example, is buying oxygen and things from Thailand and other places. Similarly, the states should have allowed and should have been given the powers to do so. As far as the management goes and advanced planning goes, see that 3 states, for example, Kerala, for example, Odisha, for example, Chhattisgarh, have done very well to enhance their oxygen capacity. And WHO had said that the cornerstone of anti-COVID therapy is the enhancement of oxygen capacity.
Yeah.
So if some people could have done it, some states, I'm sure the others could have done it. Now look at the facts. From 35 crore, we are going for vaccination of 90 crores. And we have done about 15 crores so far, or 14.5 crores. And the capacity, I was told, of these two is about 7 or plus 2, 9 crores per month doses. So we will take about 6 to 7 months. Sputnik is supposed to arrive, I think, on May 1st.
May 1st, yeah.
So here is a chance to steal, borrow, do whatever, but get them as soon as possible and forget about this fight as Doctor said, that it's very important all of join this fight and get the vaccines from anywhere you can.
No, again, you know, my problem with this entire fracas is this is how we do everything in this country. We wait till the last minute, the problem hits the ceiling, and then we look for jugaad. Then we look for solutions. This is a problem that all of us could have anticipated. But anyway, I think both the doctor and Yasho Azad have raised a valid point. Tom Vadakan, in hindsight, was it a better strategy for the central government to say, okay, the first round, which is healthcare workers and frontline workers who are, you know, at the forefront of fighting COVID, that the central government will take care of. After that, whether it is 60 plus senior citizens, 45 plus comorbidities, etc., then you leave it to the states to decide how you want to go about your vaccination. Was it a mistake in hindsight?
In hindsight, many things can be said, but the reality is, the Dr. Saab, not Dr. Saab, the other panelists here said something about rob, steal, whatever, have gun, will travel sort of situation. There are countries who are refusing us vaccines. The point here is...
No, but Tom, who asked you to export to them, Tom? Nobody asked you, nobody put a gun to your head and said export 60 million vaccines, no?
No, we are at it. We have got licenses issued to various new companies who are in the manufacture. This is not some rabbit you can pull out of a hat. The vaccine processing, the process, the laboratory, the research, you can't have some vaccine hitting town and then people dying. Then this entire state structure will come and ask us, oh, what the hell are you doing? How didn't you check?
Okay.
Now the point is, these are very, very calculated, internationally approved kind of issues. And you can't set up things like this and say, well, you know, you go to Ethiopia, pick up the vaccine from there, get it and try it on India. That's not acceptable.
No. Nobody is saying go to Ethiopia and pick up vaccine.
That's the case that was being made out.
In fact, on the contrary, the African Union is threatening to sue India because we're not meeting the commitments made to those countries under the COVAX program. But I want to go back to Adil Bopra and ask a very, very simple question. You know, basically states want to have best of both worlds. A, they want to have universal vaccination. They're clearly not ready for it, as is evident now. And two, at the same time, Adil, they want to give free vaccine. Maharashtra today, for example, says we'll make it free, 6,500 crores, Exchequer will pay. But ultimately, who bears that cost? You and I bear that cost.
Well, Zakka, to borrow your expression, what I find extremely amazing and bizarre is that you are blaming the state governments when you clearly know in your heart and hearts that the central government has miserably failed. Till last week, the states were not even allowed to engage or interact with these manufacturers. Point number one. Point number two, there is not just shortage of vaccines, there is shortage of oxygen, there is shortage of antiviral drugs, there is shortage of beds. Number three, which you didn't let me complete in my previous speech, the second issue is about differential and discriminatory pricing. When the central government is getting the vaccines at 150 rupees, why is it that the states have to pay 600? When Bangladesh is getting this vaccine at $3 a dose, why is it that the states have to pay $6? So these are very legitimate issues. Now coming to a solution, and this is something which can only be done by the executive authority of the
Can I just clarify on this? Adar Poonawalla spoke about half an hour ago and said, I'm reducing the price for state governments from 400 to 300. Irrespective, be that as it may. I mean, he calls it philanthropy, but I don't think it's philanthropy. At 150 bucks, he makes modest profit. At 300, he makes. But can I ask you a simple question? One second. Will you give money to Serum and to Bharat Biotech to scale up from 70 million production per month to 110 million production per month? You need money, right, to scale up. Who will pay?
Ideally, I'm answering that question, Zakka. Ideally, according to the 7th schedule of our constitution, this is the responsibility of the center. But if push comes to shove, despite limited fiscal resources which the state have, we have to inoculate our people. If Mr. Modi has failed, if Amit Shah has failed, we have to come to the rescue of our people. And
that you want
Zakka,
the,
just
you
not
want the
letting me
center
complete.
to
I don't
do
understand. Of
you
late,
want
you're
the
just not letting
center
Congress
you want
spokespersons speak.
no you want the center to do all the work, but you're going around and promising free vaccine in all of the states, from Kerala to Maharashtra to Chhattisgarh, free vaccines, but we want the center to do all the work.
I can give you a solution if you're willing to listen to me.
Yeah, I am.
And the
I'm
solution
listening to you.
is,
I'm listening to
the
you.
solution is, under our constitutional scheme, the Government of India, Ministry of Health and Department of Pharmaceuticals can issue tenders and carry out compulsory licensing of these vaccines. You invite bids, let there be an L1 and an L2. That process will determine the real value of these vaccines.
Okay.
And then more pharma majors can enter the fray and we can provide these vaccines at a cheaper rate. But unfortunately, Mr. Modi is allowing them to profit here. This is the solution that Mr. Chidambaram had given.
Question is
But
who
Zakka,
pays?
lastly,
Question
how
is who
long
pays
will you
those
allow
pharma
the
companies?
center to get away?
Okay,
There has to be
Tom,
accountability
quick
at some
rebuttal.
stage.
Then I'll go to Dr. Gilada and to Yashu Azad. Quick rebuttal, Tom Wadakan. Quickly.
Zakka, they talk about
own state, the state of Maharashtra, the state of Chhattisgarh, the state of Punjab, where you have your government. Election time, the chief ministers go from Chhattisgarh to Assam funding, financing. Money is collected, there is no problem of money. And now they say it is constitutional duty of, I think, God's sake, you pay money for your own state. These are people of
Zakka,
India.
you're allowing him to lie.
And they're begging and pleading. They're begging and pleading for support.
No, but answer the question, Tom. Answer the question. Answer the question that Adil asked. What is stopping you? No, Tom. What is stopping you, the central government, from saying, why should Covaxin be manufactured by only one company? Why not license it out to 10 companies? After all, it's been developed. It's been developed by 50% funding from ICMR, which is a Government of India institution. Tom.
Even the National
Well, one second, Tom. Yeah.
Given these licenses, they are in the process. But as I said earlier, this is not a rabbit you can pull out of a hat. It takes time to set up as a thing. You can't set it up in the. It's not a.
But Mr. Modi was busy campaigning.
Okay.
Tom, you're right.
No, one second.
Mr.
Adil,
Modi
please.
is
Rahul Gandhi was also busy
busy
campaigning. Yeah,
campaigning.
everybody was busy campaigning. Just because Congress party doesn't have a
He
stake in
celebrated.
Bengal.
Zakka,
No,
he
just because Congress party doesn't have a stake in Bengal doesn't mean your leaders were not campaigning. Leave that aside. Now I want to go to Dr. Gilada. I want to go to Dr. Gilada and I want to go back to Yashu Azad. Final words. Dr. Gilada, what happens now? I mean, a 15-day break would be disastrous to our vaccination campaign. Basically, these big states, Maharashtra included, where, the biggest concentration of cases is happening, if they are to basically say for 15 days we can't vaccinate those above 18 because we simply don't have supplies, how much would that beat back our efforts to defeat this virus, to conquer the second wave, coming as it does right now at this point of time?
Zakka, the vaccination now is going to prevent only the third wave, not for the second wave. Number one. Number two, nobody had asked for vaccination of 18 to 25. We were asking between 25 to 45. So if you just deduct that 18 to 25 people, they are 12% of population, and that's another 16 crore huge population for that. Thirdly, we should look at some examples. Say Israel, when Pfizer vaccine was available to them for $15, they paid $30. And they vaccinated their country 100%. Somebody asked the Prime Minister, why did you pay double? He said, we did a 3 days lockdown, we lost enough. And if I paid double, I saved that lockdown cost. America, when they wanted to have vaccination for entire country, they paid advance to these companies and they supported them. And they said, we produce vaccine, we'll buy in advance. We also knew the capacity of our country.
We are not
vaccine powerhouse.
No, but we are not. Dr. Gilada, we are not America or Israel. We don't have the kind of resources that those countries do.
Zakka, this is a national program. There are 12 national programs running for 30 years, 50 years, 60 years. National tuberculosis program, never ever state is contributing, central government is contributing. National AIDS control program, last 35 years it is run by central government. So why this program should be an orphanage program? Why you want to throw it out from the national program?
Okay.
National program, national vaccination, one time, one policy.
Okay, Yashu Azad, final word, and I think the doctor is right. Even if we were to go in for universal adult vaccination now, it's not going to help solve the second wave. It could potentially help solve the third wave. Hopefully, fingers crossed, it will. but the second wave is here. It's upon us. What do we do now is the bigger question.
First point, I agree with Dr. Gilada that it should be now we should lower our standards and make it between 25 and 45. Second point I would like to state is that states should share some responsibility and not make it a free vaccine. Even now, below the poverty line, people may get it free. But for the others, the payment should be made. And this money, definitely, they should share and should be give to the manufacturers. Third, the center should see that more and more vaccines from anywhere which can be bought, they should be bought immediately. And the last point is that in these 2 weeks, while the vaccine is not possible for the various states, they should do a very, very serious implementation of the containment zones, not allow these Char Dham Yatras, etc., and see that all the proper protocol is being maintained.
All right. I want to thank Yashwardhan Azad, Dr. Gilada, Adil Singh Bopra and Tom Vadakan for joining us. One thing is clear, that universal vaccination, which is supposed to begin from the 1st of May, this Saturday, is not going to happen as was envisaged, and entirely because there was no foresight to predict these problems. These were eminently predictable problems. These were eminently, estimatable problems, but that did not happen. Be that as it may, let's at least get over this, wrong notion, this red herring, that somehow by paying a price, by those who are eminently capable of paying a price, that we are actually, leading into some kind of profiteering and pandemic pandering, as it were, of these companies. Because if Serum and Bharat Biotech, and Serum in particular, needs to go from 70 million a month to 100 million plus a month, they need money. And nobody is giving them that money. Nobody is giving charity for that scale up. That money is coming through purchase of this vaccine. So we'll leave it at that. We'll see how this further progresses from the 1st of May onwards. For the moment, though, thank you very much for tuning in.